Louisiana residents may be in the dark for weeks as officials take stock of the damage from Hurricane Ida. Ida made landfall on Sunday with 150 miles per hour winds, the fifth strongest to ever hit the U.S. mainland. About 1 million locals remain without power. It's going to be a difficult life for quite some time, said one local leader in the greater New Orleans area. About 5,000 National Guard members have been deployed to aid search and rescue. In addition, more than 25,000 workers from around the country have mobilized to support power restoration in the state. According to CNN. At least one person is dead after a tree fell on their home in Ascension Parish, in Louisiana's Baton Rouge area. State and local officials have conceded that number is likely to grow as search and rescue efforts continue, but argued the city had largely held the line. The systems we depended on to save lives and protect our city did just that, and we are grateful, but there is so much more work to be done, said New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell on Monday. She urged residents who had already evacuated their homes to stay put and not return until power and communications have been restored. As the slow-moving Ida continues to move inland, it has weakened to a tropical storm, but the National Hurricane Center warned that heavy rain could still bring flooding to parts of Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida. Ida was previously deemed life-threatening, drawing comparisons to Hurricane Katrina, a 2005 storm that had a path similar to Ida and killed 1,800 people, but it seemed that New Orleans flood defenses, strengthened in Katrina's aftermath, have done their job. Governor John Bel Edwards said the levee systems had performed magnificently, and none have thus far been breached. But the damage is still catastrophic, he acknowledged on Monday. We are still in a life-saving mode.
President Joe Biden has declared a major disaster in the state, releasing extra funds for rescue and recovery efforts. On Monday, he pledged that the federal government would stand with the people of the Gulf for as long as it takes for you to recover. Entergy, the largest power company in Louisiana, warned that it would take days, and likely weeks in the hardest-hit areas, to restore electricity to the more than 1 million homes without power across the state. Ida gathered strength over the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico during the weekend. More than 90% of oil production there has been shut down as a result of the storm. On Sunday, Ida made landfall south of New Orleans as a Category 4 hurricane, meaning it would cause severe damage to buildings, trees, and power lines. As it moves inland, Ida's winds have dropped to 95 miles per hour, meaning it is now a Category 1 storm. There are still fears of storm surges along the coast, which could be as high as 16 feet, potentially submerging parts of the low-lying coastline. In New Orleans, the sun is now shining. While that might sound lovely, sweltering conditions are less than ideal when residents and businesses lack power and water. With a lengthy wait to restore utilities, many residents are now scrambling to make a post-storm evacuation. There has been significant property damage as well. Jazz icon Louis Armstrong's second home, a small brick structure, is now just a pile of bricks. Still, residents talk about how they got lucky after Hurricane Katrina's disastrous death toll. The picture changes once you head to low-lying areas outside of New Orleans' hurricane protection system. The situation there is more desperate as people wait atop their roofs and inside their attics to be saved from the water. Some of the roads are impassable and unsafe due to downed power lines and flooding. Reaching the most vulnerable in these conditions will be challenging, but resources are now pouring in. In Jefferson Parish, I met Clarence Cincino, an older man who has lived in his home there for 50 years. He says Ida was the worst storm he's lived through. Throughout the night, he and his family kept moving to different parts of the house as leaks turned into holes. The intense winds tore off sections of his roof and the sheetrock and insulation completely collapsed. COVID-19 has also further complicated efforts to keep people safe. Louisiana hospitals are already under pressure from COVID-19, as the state has the third highest rate of infections in the U.S. Normally, hospitals in the predicted path of the hurricane would be evacuated, but this time there are few beds available, even at facilities further inland. We don't have any place to bring those patients. Not in state, not out of state, Mr. Edwards said. Ida came ashore on the 16th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, a Category 3 storm, when it made landfall. Since then, billions of dollars have been spent on flood defenses, known as levees. So far, the levees have held, though a flash flood warning is in place for New Orleans. High winds tore part of the roof off a hospital in the town of Cutoff, Louisiana, just inland from the Gulf of Mexico. The hospital said it had suffered significant damage but that its patients were safe. The impact of climate change on the frequency of storms is still unclear, but increased sea surface temperatures warm the air above, making more energy available to drive hurricanes. As a result, they are likely to be more intense with more extreme rainfall.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.